In order for me to communicate and effectively connect with parts, I have to create experiences that prove that we're not in a rush and we're not in survival mode and we are safe and we are allowed to express ourselves and all of these different things that weren't true before. And so if I spend a lot of time in just my mind without tangibly doing stuff, my parts aren't going to believe me. But when I can walk super slowly, and when I can be intentional with directing my gaze at things very softly and with curiosity, and when I can step away from projects as soon as they're causing dissociative switches and activations of things because of any kind of stress, when I can prioritize physical needs and emotional needs and mental needs over being productive or being a certain person for other people, etc., etc. There's a million things I would do that would make my parts feel like we're not really safe. Checking social media when I'm not grounded is a great example. Like, there's so many little things I was doing that was not helping me create tangible experiences where I could communicate with parts. And so I was just like, yeah, we're safe. And now I'm going to be really stressed and do all this work that I don't really need to do immediately. Like, you know, and I'd have like deadlines for myself and all these things because going on with normal life was most important for me. But that's just neglecting and abandoning parts. And we're not doing that anymore. And so for me to successfully connect with them, I can't just wake up and say or think, okay, we can take our time today. We can, you know, we can take it slow. We can do what we need to do to be okay. Because then I usually still mentally decide, okay, I need this, and this. I want to do this, and this. I need to do this, and this. Instead of saying, how are my parts feeling? Where's my subconscious at? What is my consciousness experiencing right now beyond my immediate awareness? And when we start to prioritize the 95% of our consciousness we would normally neglect, everything changes. And so at this time, normally, my vision would be blurred. I wouldn't be able to see colors very vividly. I wouldn't be able to taste. I wouldn't be able to feel my hunger. I wouldn't be inside of my body. I wouldn't be present with parts in my mind. I wouldn't be prioritizing presence. I would still be pushing myself to be a certain person according to my own theories of what that should be, rather than just showing up unconditionally for who I authentically am. And so showing up for the other 95% of my consciousness I used to neglect changes everything. So, oh yeah, I started to say that. At this time, normally I'd be anxiety driven, my body, my mind, things would literally not be working great. But because I got up first thing, as soon as my eyes were even slightly wanting to creep open, normally it takes me like an hour to fully get up. As soon as I was feeling slightly conscious, I pushed myself to get out of bed and go for a walk. And we did earthing and we did earthing and sun gazing and humming and eye trace and thymus tap and backwards walking and all sorts of things. And because I was present with parts right away at this time where I would normally be struggling to get out of bed, depressed, crying, drowning, just body tension everywhere because of parts being present without me being consciously present with them. Instead, I'm here and I can see color clearly and I've already had breakfast and my body feels okay and I'm inside of my body and I have feeling throughout my body and I can see the colors and I can feel the sunshine, and it's just amazing that at this exact time I would normally be struggling to get out of bed, but because I got up right away when I really didn't want to, like I literally normally would have fallen back asleep. I was so tired, like 6-something a.m. But because I said no, showing up for my parts is more important than feeling good. Showing up for my parts and embracing this day with all aspects of my consciousness is more important than feeling good or feeling comfortable or doing what I feel like doing or doing what I want to do or being a normal person or whatever. And so prioritizing the process of creating tangible experiences that can actually be felt, not just thought about and conceptualized, but felt and experienced, all of that. When we prioritize that, we show up for the 95% of our consciousness we normally wouldn't show up for. And in that process, that 95% of our consciousness that we would normally neglect and abandon and not be working collaboratively with now starts to work for us in ways it's never had the capacity to do before. So showing up for that 95% of our consciousness is everything. is absolutely everything. And I'm really grateful that I found that out, because if I didn't have DID, I probably never would have been forced to dive into this topic, and I would probably still be neglecting that 95% of my consciousness, completely limiting my ability to be my true authentic self, my ability to experience peace, joy, and fulfillment, my ability to embrace my true purpose and potential. All of it would be so limited. And so showing up for that 95% of our consciousness that speaks a different language and requires us to create tangible experiences in order to communicate, very, very powerful. I normally wouldn't have even been able to like be out here. Just the air and the sounds would have been so overwhelming because my brain wouldn't be processing them right. Now I get to be out here embracing the day, even though I live with dissociative identity disorder.